Traders, we're going to have a look at trading the New York Open or the New York session in this video. So we have this custom range indicator, and I've just readjusted the settings to track 9 a.m. till 10:30 a.m. New York time, UTC -4. Previously I was tracking till 10, but I think 10:30 might be more appropriate, and set your chart to New York. And essentially what we're looking for through this period in time, or any time from the open through to the end point of this range, or towards the end, is you want to see, one, a run on liquidity, which is that move here, and then the trend kicks off for the session. And then we look to get involved after you notice an obvious spike above the range or below. Then this first signal, that one here, as it's turning red, and see how it breaks the low of the high and low of this range. That's it there. That's your cue there to go short. Stop loss above try that one. Stop loss above this red shaded zone that you see on the trend momentum sync. 2R by default, or you have a combination of a yellow and a purple line here. That's your target area. See how it respected it. I'd previously had this initial range set up a little bit tighter, and was getting caught out thinking that the market would continue as this was running stops. But we'll get to that. Okay, so we can see the stop run occurring here. Right, so it's hitting liquidity above above this range, and then it trends for the rest of the session. So we're looking for this break of the low here as our cue to enter. So this is the last New York session. Short position around here, stop loss just above. Well, you could go for 2R target, but there's your target area down here. Notice the green and red shaded zone. So I'm only using the trend momentum sync and the trend bars. I want the trend bar colors. Okay, green turns to red. Custom range high and low. This one, and these two here, Forex session. So the white is the New York. Aussie yen. Okay, see the run on stops, and then you get your trend. Short position. Wow, that's not a bad spot right there. The Aussie dollar wasn't a really clear run above. Generally what you'll get when it's ranging like this is a spike above, and then you get the trend. That's kind of the Wyckoff setup. This time it didn't happen. We did get that, and then it ran these stops here. In any case, we just follow this. Got a red signal, and you can take that short to our target, or aim for this yellow and or purple line. So you can see how this works out. Now this one here is where it gets a little tricky, and this is what we're going to be doing when this happens. So after this initial range, okay, the spike above, the run on liquidity occurred fairly late. Okay, so we took this trade. I actually traded that. But when it turns around and you see the rotation and the fact that we've got yellow and purple lines above here, strong resistance, this is the rotation we're looking for. We just go straight into it and take this short. We lose 1R, but then we gain. All right, let's have a look at our target area down here, 6R or thereabouts. Fairly tight stop. Now I woke up at 12:30 and took this trade long, thinking, okay, looks like we're going to see a continuation. Obviously, that's what it looked like. And, I went to bed after that. But I think what we need to do is, if you're going to be trading a session, just stay with it. And if we get this shift, then you can take action. Euro, Aussie, just having a look at the last. Yeah, so we got a bullish. Breakout was bullish. Okay, come back in on the retrace. There's your target area up there. And just following the signals. Euro CAD. This is a US session here. So, you could run off this given that these two green signals are giving you the stop run, you could run off this red signal here. So go short as soon as that kicks in, pretty much. And it's a bit late to the party down here, but your stop loss is going to be, where this red shaded zone is, and you just go for that target down here. Well, there's a 4-hour target. And then, look, if you're still up, through this session, then you can catch this rotation and trade it back the other way as well. Okay, but you can see how powerful this system is. And again, my error last night was taking the trade, waking up at 12:30, and the trades I took were the ones that reversed, and I wasn't up to get involved with the with it when it rotated. But again, there's the initial range we want to sit through, and long position. Well, look at that. There's your target area up there. Stop loss pretty tight. Another 3 hours. So you see where this is going. This is the New York session. This is white dotted line here. Okay, there's your range. That wasn't. The Euro Kiwi is not one that I like to trade. But if we follow the strategy to the T, well, you could have got involved there. The green shaded zone, that's the average true range. We could see, well, even here, even if you tightened it up a little bit, you can see the green shaded zone down here. Okay, it's spiked down here. This is, I think, 2.5 times the average true range on the 5-minute chart. Okay, 2.5 times the ATR. And that's set up in the indicator. So just go into the trend momentum sync here, and I've got it set, the ATR multiplied to 2.5. Okay, so that's our stop loss level. But every one of these worked out. I got caught with a couple, as I mentioned. I'd actually tightened up the initial range. I had it set to 10 a.m., but I'm thinking 10:30 is, better suited. Short position, that's your run-on stops here, and that's where it kicks in, and that's your outcome. Again, targeting orange, yellow, and purple, or just go 2R by default. The euro dollar, again, we're waiting for this to play out, and then there's your trade. If you like what you see, jump on board and try this for 7 days completely free. Look at that, 8R. Okay, pound Aussie, just run through. That one was a no-go. See how it didn't really break out of the this initial range here, so we don't touch that. You really, look, you really want to see it break out of the range. Run on stops, and I would expect this to go short, then it turns green and then red. Right, it's very questionable. Look, even if you did get caught out on that one, you lose a 1R, but you've gained a lot with the rest. Like this one, for example. You really want to see it break out of this initial, see that the high and low of the range, it's marked up. That's your trade. Okay, pound Swiss, it just goes on and on, guys. Look at it. That's the New York session. There it is. Pound yen, same thing. Look at that. Okay, there's a lot of profit to be made here. See, this is where you don't get involved. It doesn't break through the range, the high and low of this initial range. Pound dollar, nice. New Zealand CAD, yep, see, broke out. There's your trend. But tight stops. Now, I've got a habit from years of being in the game, trading a higher time frame, and I have this tendency to go with wide stops. But, that's an old habit that I'm finally starting to come to terms with. I've been trading for 20 years or more than 20 years, and that's been the case. I've always had a profitable, pretty much most months have been a profitable month up until the Bank of Japan rate rise, and then the volatility kicked in, and trading with a wider stop these days, intraday, just isn't working because the volatility is so aggressive. It pumps, it dumps, it pumps, it dumps, and it's just really difficult. So I'm having to completely readjust my my strategy, and it takes time, because habits that form over years get really embedded on a cellular level. I mentioned this in a previous video. But, yep, I'm coming around. Anyway, look, see, this is the run-on stops that you want to avoid getting caught out, and then that's your opportunity. Look, we're heading south. You can see how powerful this is. There you go. Dollar CAD. Look at this. Dollar Swiss. You could have got stopped out. If you were chasing that, you would have got stopped out, possibly. Dollar Yen. Nice. Gold. Yeah, that was a bit wonky last night. I got caught out with this one. I took this trade after I saw it heading south. I got involved here. But, the yellow and the purple line are pretty tight. And there you go. It respected it and pulled back. And that ended up just being range bound through the whole US session. And spot crude. Look at that. Okay, so we just go with these signals after our initial range plays out. We're looking for the bar color to turn green, and we're looking for these green signals to kick in, telling us that there's strong momentum in that direction on multiple time frames. That's it, guys. NAS 100. That was a no-go. Yeah, now this is the one I got caught out on, you see. And what we do with this is, okay, so it broke bullish. That was actually a stop run, but I thought it was going to continue. And then it turned around, right? So then you want to just put it down to the cost of doing business. That one gets taken out. Fair enough. What you can do, and this is what I did today in the Asian session, I actually closed, when I saw trades turning red, I actually closed them early, at close to break even, and got out of them. In any case, maybe 1R gets taken out, but then, this is where it's setting up, so we run with that. And that was quite a nice outcome. 3R, and further. You could close it as you trade into the Asia Open if you like. But yeah, guys, that's and then there's Bitcoin. We've got all our crypto here as well. Same thing applies pretty much. If you like what you see, jump on board. There's a 7-day free trial. Won't cost you anything, and you can take this for a run and see for yourself. Okay, but really work on this strategy, and I think you'll definitely be pleased with the outcome for sure. So that's trading the New York session. Same applies for the Asia and London. See, sometimes the session is just going to trade sideways throughout. And see, here's the thing. Look, we use the London range. Well, that one actually, it didn't break the low. See, you really want to see it break the low or the high. And early on in the piece, okay. So and you can see the white candles here. So that's just a no-go. Now you're looking for this initial range, okay, to be compromised. Anyway, that's a bit of a thing. And then look, it gets more interesting. You can use this indicator here. This is trending down. You can see it's gone from green to red. This is liquidity momentum. The red's starting to build here. All right, so then you can use this as extra confirmation as well. Okay, guys, yeah, head over to the website, click on the link, free trial, 7 days, won't cost you a cent, and yeah, see what's possible. With that, hope you have a great day, safe trading, and see you in the next one.